educate, inform, and motivate people into taking action against this worldwide slavery system where, especially now during these times, is really clamping down and trying to put the nail in the coffin for freedom of life on this planet. So I'm just trying to give these people another platform to put their voices out, put their story out, promote their work, get into the reality of our situation, and throw some solutions out there. So this week I'm fucking ecstatic to have on someone who I've been watching for the past 8 or 9 years now, I believe, and I believe he's been at it for the past 12, if I'm not mistaken, exposing the New World Order slavery system and attempting to get the truth out to people and get to the bottom of what's really going on, from straight up boots on the ground activism with a megaphone in hand, man on the street interviews, and an archive of literally thousands of videos with interviews he's done with researchers from all over the world on all the hidden agendas of this world. He's the host of his own internet talk show where he's been given an outlet for other researchers to put their information out, from everything ranging from the occult, mind control, consciousness, the metaphysical universe, to chemtrails, vaccines, GMOs, you name it. He's also the lead singer of his own rock band called Vinny and The Vendettas, and a proud new father of a beautiful baby girl. So welcome to the show, Vinny Eastwood. Vinny, what's good, bro?
Well, not a whole lot under lockdown, stuff like that, because I feel lots of anxiety when I basically don't have liberty. Liberty is the right to be able to do what you want so long as you don't hurt nobody. And when somebody takes your liberty from you and says you can't go around, it's a lockdown or something of that nature, it sort of stresses me out.
I hear you, dude. It's bad. It's bad everywhere, particularly where you're at in Australia. It's fucking really disturbing.
By the way, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in as part of the normal Advanced New Zealand podcast and stuff like that, this is going to have a lot more swearing and cursing and perhaps a little bit more fun than you're used to. So I just wanted to warn the listeners there, of course, before we get into it.
Oh, no doubt. Sorry, guys. That's just the way I roll. That's just the way I talk. Might be a bad habit of mine, but it is what it is.
Well,
so, dude,
I used to start out on talk radio doing it that way as well, but then you realise that you kind of really offend people, that kind of thing. And so, people can talk about satanic pedophiles and human trafficking and sacrifice and organ harvesting by China and stuff like that. But if you use a swear word to illustrate any of those things, you've gone too far.
God forbid. God forbid. Yeah, well, I'm not going to, fake the funk here. I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to talk how I would talk to, my best friend. So, here's what it is.
Hence my warning, because I am too.
All right, man. So, look, before we get into the fucking madness that's going on now, I want to start by asking you, what was it that woke you up to reality? What was that process like for you, and why did you choose talk radio as your outlet to put the truth out?
Well, weed and and Bill Hicks and The Truth and Lies of 9/11 by Michael C. Rupert, and that's how I kind of got into cannabis activism, and then cannabis activism sort of led on to all sorts of other things, Sorry, what was the rest of the questions? Because that's just how I woke up.
Like, what was it like for you to go through the process of coming to realize, like, what the fuck is really going on?
Oh, well,
and,
I needed to get busted first, and that was kind of a scary thing, Oh, if you're honest with us, we'll go easy on you. Oh, okay, well, I've been selling weed for about 6 months for about $400 an ounce, It's just this, here's my tinnies, here's my scales, here's my, that kind of thing. Almost happy to see them. That's going to be up to 8 years jail, son. You're like, what?
So what'd you wind up getting hit with?
After a lot of pain and suffering. Well, basically, I had my very first panic attack in the cells. As reality sort of started crashing down on me, and I was under the impression that I might be going to jail for up to 8 years for over a month. Now, I found out in retrospect that it takes between 1 month and 6 months to develop complex post-traumatic stress, and that means you get panic attacks when the incidences that caused your trauma in the first place are repeated or reflected. Okay, so that means that if cops are busting me or something like that, I can go into panic attack territory. If they're coming to my house, I can go into panic attack territory, and I've been exhibiting a lot more control lately, but that whole month of real fear of going to jail for 8 years for 13 grams of cannabis, that was with no diversion. That was pretty tough, and I think what was tough about it is that you realise that nobody's actually your friend when you're a dealer. When people are coming to your house to buy.
When you get busted,
when you get busted, you're nobody's friend anymore. And it just reminded me, and even my flatmates as well. They stole all my stuff from me. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my freedom, my right to travel around this world and stuff like that. And got complex post-traumatic stress, and that was because of 13 grams of weed. Right.
Unfucking real, man.
All right,
Unreal.
so I felt a little bit unjust about that, but I had to spend a year off, and then went to university. And while I was at university, one of my brother's friends said that I should get into telemarketing, telesales as we call it here in New Zealand. And I was really fucking good at it, like way better than everybody else. I mean, it took me a few months to get the gears cranking, when you're just learning something, but then all of a sudden and you're into real cranking territory. Top sales for a solid 6 months. Nobody could even come close. I was nearly double the next highest person on the thing, And then I got promoted, and then I realised that the promotion was just to do more sales, which I didn't want to do. I thought when I achieve number one status, that bores the hell out of me, and I want to change and do something different, get new skills. And so I was stuck in this job where you got a salary and maybe a little bit of commission, and that wasn't as exciting as the full-on commission of just calling up people at home and saving them money on their toll call packages and stuff like that. And I was able to establish trust with a complete stranger within 30 seconds, and then sell them on something, right, straight over the phone. And that sort of led on to me listening to a lot of American talk radio, in particular Alex Jones. Then I started becoming all Jonesian, we're going to resist your tyranny. And then I realised after a while doing that, and that's not me. But while I was working, I just wrote a 7-page essay about what was wrong with the company and all of the different problems with recruiting and training and communications, inter-office communications and things like that, and ways of synergistically getting the company to work better together in order to better serve the customer. And so they fired me and gave me...
For what? It sounded like you were taking over the company.
So they fired me and gave me 6 weeks pay to leave within the next 45 minutes. So I was just like, okay, I'll take it. It was after a couple more sales jobs where similar instances happens where I'm just really good at what I do, but a lot of people don't appreciate that, especially when you're stealing their thunder and you're making things better. Mm-hmm. They think instead of you making things better, you're actually making them look bad, right? And then I couldn't actually start doing that again because the next job interview that I had after that, I had a panic attack. So I was like, okay, so I have panic attacks if I'm involved with the government, panic attacks if I'm involved with private corporations. Who do I go to for employment now? And I had to turn to the internet and the audiences and stuff like that. And I worked with a lot of people throughout the years, and they're all gone, because this is a killer of a field, right? Like 99% of people who start in talk radio don't last the first month. 99% of the people who do last the first month don't last the first 6 months. 99% of the people who last the first 6 months don't make it to a year. And on and on and on. There's heavy attrition in the talk radio market, man. And I'm 12 years in talk radio now. So
Awesome.
having the staying power, that kind of thing, I've had to develop a lot of different methodologies, but the whole point of it is I'm not here by choice. I literally don't have a choice. It's either expose the New World Order, help the people who are trying to do that, or have a panic attack and drink myself to death, or whatever it is people do when they don't have a purpose in life.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like, especially knowing what you have an obligation, to put that truth out there to others,
Yeah.
All right. So who were some of the researchers and activists that have really taught you a lot and helped you through your awakening process and inspired you into staying on the battlefield and taking action?
Well, I guess Alex Jones got me out of my seat, but from then on, it was a lot of the people who were just doing the day in, day out activists like Penny Bright, and we've got a Facebook page called Honouring Penny Bright to honour her memory there, and Evelyn, and also Rip Penny Bright on the playlists of this channel, and Evelyn Gilbert as well. She really mentored me massively, and so many others. Like it literally becomes this huge cast of characters, and there wasn't really much of a core per se. I mean, I've gotten help from Danny Romero from American Freedom Radio. He gave me my first show. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah. My first official talk radio show was on an American network, and that's never actually happened before or since. With a native New Zealander being broadcast on American radio in their own slot, Right. So, there were days when I was doing, 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week, to broadcast in a different time zone. And that was pretty tough, but you do have to do it, because it's like, okay, the alternative is going to the unemployment office cap in hand, or you could, because you can't work, because you get panic attacks and a physiological problem with what you're dealing with, either that or just keep doing this, no matter how bad the hours are, no matter how low the pay is, no matter what. As long as you're still alive and you haven't had to make a compromise against yourself, then it's worth it. And I've had so many people over the years that have really helped me to realise that basic dynamic. People like Mark Passio and Max Egan and James Corbett. David Icke to a certain extent as well. A lot of these big name truthers and stuff like that who I've actually managed to have on the show, which has been great. And I've had thousands upon thousands of the biggest guests in the world in terms of truth and alternative thinking. And you know how I got all of them?
How's that?
I asked. It's actually that freaking simple. I just had this realization.
Yeah, just like me reaching out to you.
Well, precisely. If anybody knows that you're actually interested in what they talk about and are interested in talking to them and give them airtime or whatever, the vast majority of people will simply say yes. So find those contact details, find those pages of all those people that you like and all of their websites and everything like that, and send them an email. And before you know it, you're 12 years later and you've got 4,000 interviews, comprising the largest online archive of protests, interviews, and meetings and things of that nature with New Zealand activists.
Damn, and that's how many. That's how many videos you got in there. 4,000.
I mean, and that's just the ones that are on YouTube at the moment that haven't been deleted by the censors or just haven't even been edited and put up because it just takes so much time. Because as soon as the camera recorder clicks off, you're usually too tired to edit it and upload it. So there could be many, many more unfinished works that haven't even seen the light of day yet. You know, that's just
that's fucking impressive.
Well, it's just the sheer quantity of work that there is, and the sheer amount of stuff that there is to do. And I was doing 2-hour shows 5 days a week, you know, for years before I even started YouTubing them to a large degree. So there's so much of, and when American Freedom Radio went down a couple of years ago, all of their old archives are gone. So there are 4,000 videos on the YouTube channel at the moment, and there could be many, many thousands more shows that people could be recorded to, except the archiving and everything just got lost. So it's
damn. So you lost all that? You lost all them?
I mean, I've still got a stack of discs. Not discs, but hard discs that are about maybe about 1.5 feet high, just of terabyte hard drives and things like that. It's just full of stuff that I've done over the years. You know, I mean, people could be making documentaries just off of the interviews that have been done and protests that have been covered on my show for generations to come. Right, that's how much content that is actually being produced by one guy who decided that he's got no other choice.
Yeah, like I said, I've been watching you and listening to you for the past 8 or 9 years. You've been fucking relentless with it, you know, and been doing an awesome job, dude. I know it's difficult to pick one, but who would you say out of like all the very interesting and brave souls you had the honor of speaking with, like was the one who really took your understanding of things like to the next level?
Yeah, well, as you say, it's very difficult to name one. Dr. Leonard Caldwell was pretty good. Cliff High, David Icke, James Corbett and Mark Passio in particular have really advanced my understanding of things to a significant margin by providing just such good examples of what to be in this world.
Yeah, they're fucking excellent.
Yeah. So my interviews, go and watch the interview that I do with Mark Passio and James Corbett.
I did. I saw that. Yep.
Now that's a mad-ass interview, bro. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Mark Passio's always fucking fantastic, man. Always gets to the root cause of the problem. You know, that's where he sticks. You know, what he sticks with his work. It's just so important for people to understand. All right, so I guess now let's get into the fucking madness that's currently taking place. So for the past, 6 months now, I mean, the world has been pretty much locked the fuck down and radically transformed into some absolutely retarded Orwellian totalitarian nightmare all over, like the most blatant false flag operation this world has ever seen. And we know this to be the case. Anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together and who has been awake to what's been going on prior and where it was all meant to go. I mean, look at the world, dude. Is this not manifesting like exactly how we've been warning people it would if they didn't wake the fuck up? I mean, we just didn't know the method they were going to use to really kick it in gear and take it to the next level. And of course, it had to be a health scare. You know, what better of a way to scare the shit out of all the brain dead shitheads out there into surrendering, what was left of their freedom. And, of course, it had to be a health scare. What a way to make people turn on each other and further divide everyone, and you make it where everyone's a potential threat. Anyone could be infected. Just fucking retarded. But, I mean, we've been trying to warn people that, the world wasn't ran by the people they believe were calling the shots. People not operate in the public eye. They constitute a shadow government whose decrees trickle down into all the institutions of this world through, intelligence agencies and think tank organizations that then get carried out by fucking brain dead, immoral order followers in all these institutions who are either in the know at some level, are bought and paid for, or just useful dupes. And this whole event proved, without a shadow of a doubt, I feel that the world is ran by the same force. I mean, you had just about every government singing from the exact same song sheet, and you can't get these fucking idiot politicians to agree on anything. They're so goddamn dumb and useless. But here you have them all working in accord, pushing the exact same shit at the exact same time. So, we've been warning people about a global totalitarian takeover, a world government, a cashless society, chips under the skin, total surveillance and censorship. And I mean, here it is, right in front of people's faces, and they're just too fucking dumb to see. I honestly feel like these people are like desperately trying to wake people up. Like, how unbelievably obvious it is, how all the data and the facts are there to show that this isn't what they're saying it is. I mean, you got these, you have the proof that this was pre-planned. You have these scumbags on video in Event 201, which took place back in October 2019 in New York City, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, running a simulation dealing with a coronavirus outbreak, ironically, and how they would go about it, the role the media would play. I mean, and you have the Rockefeller document, Lockstep, which lays out how all these draconian measures would be taken, over a viral outbreak, pretty much everything we're seeing. And I mean, the ridiculous, arbitrary dictates they're dishing out. It's like they're just having a blast, pissing themselves. And the fact that fucking Bill Gates, his patent number for an implant under the skin is fucking 666. I mean, it's like they're desperately trying to wake people up to have some kind of challenge, I feel. It's like, Jesus, how dumb do we make these people? And it's only getting worse and worse, especially in Australia and by you in New Zealand. I mean, holy shit, man, that fucking gigantic, toothed New World Order whore you have over there, she's got to go, dude. I can't even stomach looking at that woman.
I actually had to remove several of my live streams because of the dry retching and that kind of thing that I had when I was out by next to her signs and campaign material. It was it was seen by some as very immature, just gagging when you actually see the face of the Prime Minister, but it wasn't something I was doing for laughs. I was actually having a physical reaction to it. It's like this is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so scary that it makes me sick. Because,
what is that?
Because it's just I think it's a complex web of trauma causing it. I think because I have seen people fall for smiles before and give away their power, and the rest of us have become damaged or broken as a result of people's neglectful choices when it comes to investigating the people that they vote for. My brain immediately sees that face and tries to give me a physical reaction to tell me to don't look at it, okay? Because it's not good for you, Vinny. It is bad for your psychological well-being to see Jacinda's face. And the real problem with that is that her face is everywhere. It's everywhere, bro. It's
over there.
There's billboards in every single street that you can possibly go down.
Gigantic teeth everywhere you look.
I mean, I try driving in back streets because there's just jizzy in my face in every single arterial road, bro. Like oh my gosh. It just gives you the dry mouth, like you just smoked a pound of weed, but it doesn't have the high that it does. You know, like it's just a depth of pain and suffering that caught in your throat when you gag when you see Jizzy in your face. I mean, bro, it's oh my god.
Listen, I'm there with you. I feel the same way. I can't stand hearing her fucking talk. I cringe. I can't understand how anyone would, fall for that lady's bullshit. I see right through that piece of shit. Let me tell you, that woman's got a long, fat, scaly one waiting for her when she leaves this plane. I'll tell you that. For sure. What she's doing to people. I mean, they're fucking talking about sending the military door to door, testing, and even possibly removing children from their parents. I mean, that is absolutely fucking disgusting and disturbing, which I know for sure a lot of fucking people ain't gonna tolerate that shit. I know that there's still some armed true patriots in that country that ain't gonna stand for that shit. Yeah. But I feel like they're trying to push for a physical conflict so that they could then justify like total military occupation and even bring in like United Nations troops. I think that this is what they want worldwide, but so now
it's absolutely correct. I mean, they want us to fire the first shot. That's essentially what they want. They want society to turn violent against them, and that's why I'm quite impressed with the Advanced New Zealand Public Party at the moment, because they're staying factual, they're staying calm, they're staying on solid ground, and which is precisely what the government doesn't want. They want us going crazy, they want us being demonizable, and they're just not playing this game. And because of the holes, the holes in the masks that can't keep out a virus any more than a mosquito can be kept out by a chain link fence,
Yeah, it literally says it on the box.
Well, you see your neighbor
protect you from.
Yeah, and you see your neighbor putting up a chain link fence, and you're like, "What's that for?" And he goes, "Oh, for privacy." It's like, I can see through it, bro.
Oh man,
I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that.
Dude, on the box says it in bold letters, does not prevent you from contracting coronavirus or any other airborne illnesses or diseases.
I mean, like nobody
you still put the fucking shit on your face.
It's like nobody even seen the movie Outbreak. I mean, do you know what kind of a huge apparatus you need to be wearing in order to prevent a virus from getting into your body? Have you got your own oxygen tanks and things of that nature? Gas masks won't even do it, bro. You seriously need a huge suit with a completely enclosed helmet, and you need an oxygen tank. Okay, that is the minimum you need in order to protect yourself from a virus. Full stop. Right? These masks ain't going to help you. No vaccine's going to help you. You need a huge freaking hazmat suit, basically. And again, a lot of people are bringing up this thing, germ theory and terrain theory, because it's actually very difficult to prove whether or not a virus even exists. Right. But I thought of it like this. It's like racism, global warming, and the virus. You know what they all have in common? They're all completely invisible, and which means that you can point in any direction and say, there it is, and take people's rights as a result. There's global warming. Here it is. It's right behind you, bro. We're going to take your rights. There's a virus. There it is. We're just going to take your rights. There's racism for the Black Lives Matter. There it is. We're gonna have a massive freaking riot. That's the kind of thing. We are all freaked out at the moment by completely invisible, odorless, tasteless threats.
I can't, dude. Listen, I can't.
Is anybody afraid of anything that's actually in front of them or real anymore?
Listen, dude, I cannot even fathom how anyone could think that all of this, everything that's going on right now, is over some fucking virus. The draconian measures that are being taken, the checkpoints, the rush for a fucking vaccine, the lockdowns, destroying the economy. How anyone would think that this is about a virus, I cannot even fathom. Humanity went full retard, dude. Full retard. So, look, I wanted to get into you supporting the New Zealand Public Party and this dude, Billy TK, who I don't know much about. I watched a couple of videos of him on your channel, and I saw, like, a couple of his speeches, and he seems like a real decent dude with some integrity. I mean, he's calling out Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, which people absolutely need to know about. And, look, I'm an anarchist. I do not believe in the legitimacy of government, period. There's no such thing as the right to rule. No one possesses any authority over another. There's no such thing as a group of people possessing special rights that others do not have.
Yeah,
Whatever
me too,
we don't have the
I
right
agree.
to do.
And my support of the party is strictly tactical at this point. So, for example, how many different ways are there resisting the New World Order? Politically is one of them. Advocacy is another. Being in the media or running a decent business that doesn't abide by crappy practices and things like that, and spraying crap all over people's food and what have you. But and the other realm of it is politics. So this is the one way that they're doing it at the moment to resist the New World Order agenda, and they've done it in such a way that appears credible, and they've managed to get a huge following so quickly, and now have more Facebook reach than Jacinda Ardern's Labour Party Facebook page.
Really, it's gaining that much traction.
Yeah, and we're talking about from start to now. That's only been like 2 months. All right, this is unprecedented. Never happened before, and
that's fucking excellent.
And the way that they got into contact with me is through the Legalised Cannabis Party, because I'd been helping them out for a few years since I came in to basically save them the last election, because they had no web admin, they had no Facebook admin, they had no YouTube channel, they had no PayPal, they had no, just all sorts of things that the party just didn't have. They had 2 videos on their Facebook page that they hadn't that they'd had since, like, I don't know, goodness knows how long, but the party had been around 21 years at that point, and they got 2 videos on their thing. Both of them were with them just smoking weed with musicians, and I was like, okay, well, if you're going to be serious about the Legalised Cannabis Party, let's get some other stuff up there. So I made all sorts of ads and all sorts of interviews, and filmed them doing public meetings and their speeches and all of that kind of stuff. So went from 2 to 78 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then when the election results come in, we got 0.3% of the vote, which was more than 10 other minor parties got. Wow. And these are minor parties that are talking about big issues and all of that sort of stuff. And that gave me a real knowledge that when I get involved with something, the amount of work that I can get done and the amount of time that it takes to get it done is absolutely of great value politically to people, because having your platform with a voice on a regular basis is really good for your numbers and for your credibility to a large degree. And so that's how I've been trying to help out the Advanced New Zealand Party, but I'm just overwhelmed at the moment, because they're putting out so much content, I'm putting out so much content, and the content that they're putting out on Facebook isn't being put up automatically on YouTube, so I kind of am trying to do that manually. In fact, that's what I was doing this morning. From about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was editing Billy's last, whole bunches of interviews, live streams from the Facebook page that I downloaded, so they can upload them all as like, this is what Billy gets done in a week sort of thing.
Right.
And yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm not on top of it either. I'm feeling kind of unhealthy, and with lockdowns, I'm all anxious all the time, and I can't see my band, I can't hang out with my mates. I'm basically confined at home because I don't really have much reason to go out that is essential, to a large degree. It's a real tough time at the moment for me.
It's just awful, dude.
But just think about this: how many people out there who are in the exact same situation as me, but don't have a radio show, don't have an audience, don't have a massively popular political party that they're involved with while all this is going on, that kind of thing. Imagine how purposeless, hopeless, and anxious they feel.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people got to really be feeling defeated at the moment. And, to get, back to what I was saying, even though, I don't feel there's any political solution to our problems, I am for anyone or anything forming some sort of resistance against this tyranny. So I fully support you supporting this party. And that's not me compromising my principles. Just people beginning to become aware of what's going on and mounting some sort of resistance is a step in the right direction, no matter how you look at it. So, but they have to keep going with their understanding, which is great that I saw you have Passio on recently, because I know you're probably getting more and more people in your area checking out your channel now for giving that dude Billy a platform, and you wanted to get that understanding across of the illegitimacy of government as an institution.
Well, all the people all the people that I've been interviewing lately, I've got just a huge list of them actually, that are some of the top thinkers in the world, in many different areas of expertise. And the reason for the lineup is specifically because I want the NZPP audience and the NZPP leadership themselves to understand the scope and the gravity of the threat that they're dealing with, because it's so multifaceted and so difficult to understand that it's difficult to know who to turn to, who to trust. And I've interviewed all of these people that I've had in the last few months, and sometimes several times over the last 12 years, and so I know who they are, I know what their credibility is like, and so when we do a show about a topic or have a discussion, people will be able to trust it, and also be able to absorb that information in a simple way where they're not freaking out about, is this guy know what he's talking about, is he crazy, or something of that nature. So it's just a new tactic I'm trying. I don't know if it works, just like I don't know if the more serious tone of my show, with me not swearing and not laughing at my own jokes for minutes and making people cringe, we don't. My wife enjoys my jokes. She laughs at them like this. All right. So
I was gonna say, I heard you switched up you even switched up your intro lately, dude.
Yeah. Well, the new intro's a lot shorter, kind of thing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vinny Eastwood Show. I am not a credible journalist. I'm an incredible journalist, and my very special guest. And just goes in from there. Whereas the old one was a lot more long-winded. Welcome,
dude,
ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show, the lighter side of genocide. Just because we're being exterminated doesn't mean we can't make it fun. Otherwise, what's the point of being killed? The Vinny Eastwood Show, where the only thing worse than living in a high-tech global police state is Vinny's jokes.
Dude, that's the best intro to any show of all time, period. It's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, well, as I always say when I sign off, ladies and gentlemen, it could be worse. The world could be run by satanic pedophiles. Good night, everybody.
Oh, man, it's so terrible that's the fucking actual truth of the matter, man. So, dude, what are you seeing from people? More and more people are waking up around you? People gotta feel that something's terribly wrong over there. What's your,
I'm
what's
so
the vibe
isolated,
over there?
and that's the problem as well with lockdown. I don't talk to my neighbours. I don't got no friends who live nearby. I'm not part of any community community groups or any stuff like that. It's all online, and of course when people are only just waking up, the first thing they do when they wake up isn't to email Vinny Eastwood, "Hey Vinny, I'm waking up," so there's no accurate reading of how many motherfuckers out there are actually waking up. You see lots of encouraging polls and things like that, and the New Zealand Public Party's just got such a huge online following that it might lead you to believe that there is some kind of mass awakening happening, whereas my basic methodology is to try to remain cynical. Basically just try to remain cynical, because no matter how much hope you've got or something like that when it comes to things, just remain cynical to a large degree. That's what being a journalist has taught me, and the reason why I still believe that to a large extent is because it hasn't failed me that often. Cynicism hasn't failed me. Being hopeful and supporting people you don't really know or haven't grown up with or something like that, that's failed me occasionally. It doesn't always fail me, but sometimes it does. And because when you're cynical, you expect stuff to go wrong. You expect stuff to be a con, and you do it anyway in the full knowledge that something could wind up accomplishing absolutely nothing. And basically it's a method of defeating defeatism, because if I'm right, then I'm right, and we're screwed. If I'm wrong, that's a pleasant surprise. So it does no good to not be cynical, is what I'm trying to say here.
No, it's just being realistic. You got to just look at the situation for what it is and just be honest with yourself. Like right now, we're getting our fucking asses kicked. It's bad. But on the other hand, and where I'm at, dude, is a total fucking communist shithole in New York over here. I'm not in the city. I'm outside of the city, but still, it is loaded with, leftist, communist shitheads that have no fucking idea what's really going on in the slavery system that they're actually building, by their compliance. But from my personal interactions with people on a day-to-day basis, I do plumbing, I interact with a lot of people. I gotta be honest when saying this, 9 out of 10 people that I personally talk to know at least that this is bullshit, that they're being lied to, and that this is a control game that's being played. Maybe not, the full scope of it. I'm not saying that people are becoming spiritually awakened and enlightened all of a sudden. No, I'm not saying that there's grand spiritual awakening, but something's happening. And I'd be lying if I told you that it wasn't 9 out of 10 people. It really is. People I keep coming across, even through all the hordes of the mask wearers, people I keep talking to about what's going on know what's up, and they ain't getting the fucking test. They're not, at least, they're saying that they're not taking the vaccine when it does come around, and they know that this is a control game that's being played. So that's a good sign to me. That's a good indication to me that there is still some hope. But then, I don't know, dude. I go through every range of emotions possible every day. Some days I wake up and forget that this shit even happened. And I walk outside and I just see hordes of people walking around in their fucking mask. And then, I get, really
I was just thinking about that this morning. Depressed. I was looking out the backyard, and in the backyard we've got like a little bit of bush and some other houses and things like that up against the side of the Waitakere Range Mountains here, and I just thought to myself, can I hear anything? I can't hear anything. There is nothing going on. Right? When you're looking at the television, there's all this freaking out and stuff like that. Just look out your window. There's nothing going on, all right? And that's...
Like Bill Hicks said.
Yeah, that's precisely right. And
like war, famine, fucking crime. You look out the window, you hear fucking crickets chirping.
Yeah, and this is the question I've got for people as well. How many threats that you're afraid of can you actually see and touch? All right, nobody's got an answer, because you can't see or touch a virus, you can't see or touch climate change, I mean, the real things that are actually happening right now is homelessness, trauma, mental illness, this kind of thing. And these aren't the problems that are being talked about. These are the problems that are being caused by the stuff that is being talked about.
Right. Exactly. The psychological damage that's being done to people is just fucking unreal, dude. And we yet to see the real effects of this, even on the kids. Like that's what really fucking breaks my heart, dude. I got a daughter. She's just over a year old. Just seeing the way things are and seeing where it's all meant to go, knowing where it's all meant to go. Like I sit back and watch her play, and my fucking heart like just goes in my throat, and I get choked up because I'm like, if we don't fucking put an end to this shit immediately, this kid's gonna have no future whatsoever, no freedom whatsoever. So it's really, the kids that are gonna suffer big time out of this shit. So, we need to do whatever the fuck we got to do to put an end to this immediately.
Yeah, well, it said that hard times produce good men. Good men produce easy times. Easy times produce weak men, and weak men produce hard times. Right, and at the moment, I've been struggling with the realization of the fact that I am actually one of these weak men. I'm not getting out of the office. I'm not going shooting. I don't got no martial arts. I'm part of no sport teams. I don't know how to fix stuff. That kind of thing. I mean, there's things that I can do that in some cases literally nobody else can do, or nobody else has got the combination of skills in order to do the things that I can do, right? But at the same time, I completely understand that I'm totally dependent, on men who are stronger than me to keep order out there and to make sure that stuff don't happen to me. And I think maybe this is part of the reason why I'm doing my radio show, is sort of like a backup. Like if I ask for help, based upon the amount of help that I've given out to people over the years, many people of varying levels of skill and influence. And let's say I'm in real trouble and I need real help, I think that help will probably come to me,
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, if I can't help myself. So
yeah, well, look, dude, you're extremely powerful in other ways. Then look at the way you use, your voice, dude. I mean, you've reached so many people over the years. You put out so much information. That's a weapon, dude. Like you use your voice as a weapon to expose these fucking scumbags and really, change the hearts and minds of a lot of people. No doubt. So I don't think you're fucking Well,
that's probably the reason why I used to get punched in the face a lot, and why I now am in the studio a lot instead of getting punched in the face. It's actually been a few years since I've been punched in the face. It feels wonderful because I don't. Each time I got punched in the face, it's always for a different reason, though. So I'm just kind of working through the gamut. No, you can't say that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't act that way. And it's actually quite a. It's quite a trip, actually, and I recommend everybody get themselves punched in the face, just to give you a little bit of a dose of reality. Number one, that you're not made of glass; you can take a hit, and number two, that there are some things that are beyond words, that are beyond intent, that will just hurt you just because. Sometimes I've been punched in the face because I tried to be nice to somebody. Sometimes I got punched in the face because I was walking home. It's just like no reason. It can come at you from absolutely anywhere because...
Yeah, you got punched in the face a lot, huh? Shit.
Yeah, I mean, and that was... you should have seen how many times I got punched in the face in high school. My goodness. And I am grateful for each and every little knock I've taken, because each knock has produced a lesson of some description. Don't call that guy's mum a hermaphrodite, for example.
Oh, shit.
Don't try to sell products to people at a party while they're really drunk and don't know you. You know, for example, you're gonna get punched in the face. All right. So again, it's one of those things that a narcissist learns from. All right. They don't necessarily have empathy for anybody else to a large degree, but they've definitely got empathy for themselves, and they remember things that happen to them. So, you know, if you've got narcissists who are being nasty, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that I'm not recommending assault or anything like that, but just pray that they get punched in the face, and then pray that they actually connect the being punched in the face to that being caused by their behavior. All right, this is what's happened to me. This is why I've got all these narcissistic traits, but all of the opposite behaviors, because I've been corrected. And these other people that are in power, who are misusing and abusing, and all the many ways that they do, I haven't been punched in the face enough. All right, I'm just going to say it right here. I think that there is a ratio to being punched in the face and having corrected behaviour and socially acceptable manners. Right, and we're a very non-violent society at the moment. We believe that punching people in the face is a wrong thing. Yeah, but hey, bro, being completely abusive to people and doing socially inappropriate things is also bad, and often the best way to correct that mistake is to get punched in the face. All right, so I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules.
These people need more than a punch in the fucking face.
Well, what I'm saying is that there's a long series of punches in the face that you need to get in your life before you get back on track. And these people are missing out on several gang beatings worth of punches in the face if we're going to be. In terms of quantity of things that they've done that they should have been punched in the face for. I mean, they've got a lot of face punching debt, is what I'm saying. I mean, they're overextended on their mortgage to a degree. Long overdue, you know. They haven't got a final notice yet.
Hey, man, it's going to come down to it really soon if they keep pushing people.
It's like those big earthquakes.
They're going to get theirs.
You know, they statistically happen every once in a while or whatever, but sometimes, you know, we are overdue for one. And so, yeah, punches in the face all around.
Especially that bitch over there needs to get her teeth knocked out by a real woman who's been personally affected by her decrees, you know.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying go out and punch these people in the face. All right, I'm not saying that. I'm not actually saying it, but there's some intention going out.
Oh shit, man.
I'm really stuck on this one. I mean, like, I really don't like getting punched in the face, and that's why I've, tried to curb my behaviour all this time. But I keep seeing other people who are exhibiting the exact same behaviours that I got punched in the face for, and it's just not fair. It's just not right.
Yeah, nah, they gotta get put down, fuck a punch in the face. They gotta go. Got to go. And I don't mean out of office. So what would you say to anyone, like, you have any solutions for people out there, who are feeling defeated at the moment, what's going on, like what they can do, like to get on the battlefield and resist this bullshit?
what kind of tactics and skills people need to be deploying in order to turn this puppy around, you know. Well, I think, you know, live streaming's basically been the gift to mankind to a large degree, you know, when you're live, when you're interacting with your audience and you're able to get people on there and share it around, and you can actually have some real influence. And at the moment, that's the most strongest weapon we've got. And I recommend people learn how to use that weapon. And it's as simple as picking up a phone and clicking the Go Live button on Facebook or Instagram or any of these other platforms. I mean, the only things I'm really familiar with is Facebook and YouTube because I've been using them for over a decade. But
you're still on Facebook?
Yeah.
You're still on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And because that's where the audience is. Just like on YouTube, right. You know, that's where the audience is. And there are lots of other people out there who've tried all these new platforms and things like that, like BitChute and Library. I've got accounts there and what have you, but I'm not on them all the time using them because that's not they're just not as user friendly as these other platforms are.
They don't have live streaming yet for either of them, though. I think they're in the process of trying to get funding for live streaming for BitChute, and Library don't have it yet. But as soon as they do, I would suggest like go on there, dude. Bring your audience over there.
Oh, well, I can't bring my audience over there. I mean, my audience on YouTube even barely knows I exist because I've got 50,000 subscribers-ish, and we've got 66 people watching. What does that tell you? You know? And the amount of people that have been telling me about how they've been unsubscribed without their knowledge or unfriended without their knowledge and stuff like that. So there's a huge amount of shadow banning.
YouTube is just a fucking disgusting platform. I really hate even putting anything I do on there.
That's right. And yet, if I was live streaming this on some other kind of platform, I might have 10 people instead. All right, so I've gotten so much mileage out of Facebook and YouTube, and I'm going to rock them till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. No, I agree. Until they fucking shut you down, use it for what it's worth, brother. You know, keep reaching people that way. That's the thing with me too. Like, you know, I want to support these other channels. I mean, I only have a relative fucking handful of followers at the moment, but you know, the majority of them are on YouTube, unfortunately. And like I said, it fucking pains me to put the shit that, you know, the music that I do, that I put so much work into doing, you know, to put that up on that fucking fascist communist platform, you know, and the filth that run that organization there. You know.
You don't have much of a choice, though, do you? And that's the thing. Same with me. I've got no choice.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like you said, I'll rock it till the wheels fall off until they fucking take me off, and then that's it. I'll go support, which I do. I support Library and BitChute. I like the way they function too. I like the functionality of them, and you know, those are both two good platforms. As soon as they get live streaming, that'll be dope too.
Maybe they will get live stream and maybe they won't. I mean, it's all a question of bandwidth and all of this sort of stuff. Like, if you go to BitChute and it takes 15 seconds for your video to load, people aren't going to fucking tolerate that and they're going to go somewhere else. And that's the problem as well, because the reason why YouTube or Netflix loads so good, let's say in New Zealand, for example, is because just down the road we've got YouTube servers, we've got Netflix servers. You need the servers close by everywhere in order to get your stuff to work well and fast everywhere, and that's a huge setup cost.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people say things like, "Oh, Vinny, why don't you just start your own internet company?"
What?
Oh yeah, bro. It's just
give me the funding.
Okay, like I'm running basically what amounts to the only freedom-loving regular broadcast medium in the country's history, right? And people are saying, "Oh, you shouldn't ask for donations, or you're just being lazy, or you should go get a job, or something."
I can't
like
believe
that.
People have the fucking balls to tell you that. Really, they tell you shouldn't ask for donations.
Yeah. I mean,
because they feel like if people are donating to you, or if you're asking for donations, that's like you fucking selling out in some way. I mean, that's so childish to think that way.
Yeah.
You should be compensated for the efforts that you put out. Like, you want to do this as your life's work. Why wouldn't you, or why shouldn't you be compensated for that in the material you pull out? And you're begging people. It's just a voluntary donation you're asking for. If you don't want to, don't fucking do it. You're not fucking begging people, to support you.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't like the show, don't listen. And if you don't want to support the show, don't donate. But there are a lot of people who do like the show. They do listen. And there are a lot of people who donate regularly through Patreon, PayPal, KiwiBank, automatic payments, things like that. So that
that's awesome, dude.
Oh, bro! Every morning I get up, there are new automatic payments in my accounts from people, and you know what I have to do in order to reward them for helping me out? Nothing, because I've already done the work.
Right, and they're grateful for it,
Yeah, and
that's excellent, dude.
Well, it's just there's the fact that there isn't really anybody else, not in this country anyway, really doing it. I mean, we have say Terry O'Pines and across the Rubicon channel and stuff like that, but they don't do what I do. They don't get the top international guests on a daily basis, 5 days a week, for hour-long, 2-hour, 3-hour interviews and stuff like that. All live streams simultaneous with scrolling text, green screen background, pictures, images, webcasting, and being able to play videos and like the whole. This is a very complicated setup. It took years.
No doubt. You do a fucking great job, dude. Very impressive.
And it's by my fucking self, and that's the real thing about it. Is I'm the one who has to organise the guests. I'm the one who has to click the go live buttons and the record buttons and do all the uploading and do all the descriptions and everything like that, and it's just too much.
Yeah, just seeing you set up before, like, just for this was like, was impressive. I'm like, damn, like how you know how to work everything like that. That's excellent, dude. I
mean, and everybody should learn how to do this, because I operate under the two basic principles of being Vinny Eastwood. My two basic flaws is that I'm an idiot and I'm lazy. All right?
Lazy? No, bro. No way. You have some fucking energy, dude, to do what you do.
No, but that's what people think. That's what people think. But the thing is, I could be doing 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times more than I'm currently doing, right? I'm just not healthy enough because I'm so lazy, you see? And that's the
I've seen you do like fucking 6-hour live streams. Like, holy shit.
Well, I've done one.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
I mean, it's just so much work that you burn out, because you can't do all the technical stuff and not have some of your outlet. I mean, it's like if I'm sitting in the background producing somebody else's show, I get bored because I'm not part of the show,
Right, yeah.
And that's my problem as well. I always need to be accomplishing something, always need to be moving forward. Otherwise, I just sit back and get bored because there's nothing to do, there's nothing to say, there's nothing to record, there's nothing to be on. And live really helped me out in that regard, because I was so behind on so much editing. And then after I did a live stream, I was like, hey, do you know how long it takes to edit a 3-hour live stream? 3 hours, including doing the live stream. Holy shit. And
yeah, I did my first episode yesterday, and I was editing it since last night until this morning. And yeah, it's true. I just wasn't comfortable going live because I never fucking done it before. So I'm like, all right, if I fuck up, at least if I do this pre-recorded, I have the time to sit and edit it out. But yeah, it is. It's a process of editing, dude. That shit takes time.
Yeah, and also when you are live, you have to just go with it. The show must go on, and so you can either train yourself to record things and then spend meticulous hours editing them, or you can train yourself by just doing it and getting better every show that you do. You can tell people, hey, look, my jokes are really bad. There's going to be some swearing during this, that sort of thing. That gives them a little bit of psychological psychological preparation for it. And indeed, and when I say, you know, I do all this by myself, that is a complete compacting of the day-to-day running issues, because there's no way I'm doing this all by myself, right? I've got so many mods in the chat room keeping out the riffraff. Thank goodness for all of them. I've got so many donors in my secret donors group that are helping me out. I've got so many people sending me links and email and contact information for great guests. I'm really grateful to that. And I happen to just be the center of this little Vinny Eastwood universe where if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. So if people are moderating my live streams, what are they moderating if I'm not there to live stream? Nothing, all right? If people are...
Right, but it all, you know, it's all interconnected and it's all working together, which is great. That's like people actually doing something and like taking part in doing the great work, you know? If they're not speakers themselves or bloggers or, you know, not putting out music, you do what, you know, like your friends are doing, you know, the people who support you and send you links and contact information. They're supporting you financially. Like, that's all a part of it right there, you know?
Yeah. And I'm really an ungrateful person to a large degree. You know, I've got this massive freaking sense of entitlement, and it's this failed narcissist thing. You know, so like at the moment, you know, Vinny Eastwood thinks he should be a massive film director and have all the millions of dollars and all this power and influence and stuff like that. But I don't, and as a result, I feel down on myself and real miserable. It's like, well, Vinny, why are you down on yourself and miserable? Oh, because my cousin's Lucy Lawless, and she's got all this fame and Hollywood stuff that I would have liked, and all I've done is create the largest online archive of protest, public meetings, and interviews with activists and the world's greatest thinkers. You know, I mean, who cares about? You see what I'm saying?
No comparison there, bro. No comparison there.
Yeah, it's like you're two different people, and you're going in two completely different directions, right? And I don't know what this has got to do, maybe psychologically, and I think we all go through this to a degree as we compare ourselves to other people, and instead of comparing ourselves to who we were yesterday. Who I was yesterday is about 500 grams lighter than who I am today, according to the scales, so I'm not doing too good on that front either. But then again, we did have our 14-year anniversary of meeting my wife Sarah yesterday, and
wow,
and we had curry and Wendy's over the course of the day. So there's explanations for everything. And because of lockdown,
awesome, man. Congrats, dude. 14 years. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we've got our cute little baby snorer here. I'm not sure if you can see this on the thing, but we've got her.
There she is.
Yeah, there she is, and she's doing a little bit of snoring. For about 10 seconds here. It's just so sweet.
Dude, she's adorable, dude. Adorable. I see you. I could see, like, you know, your eyes and your nose, man.
That's real cute.
There's Trump. There's Trump. The man that's going to save the day. Don't worry. But you know what, Vinny? You don't even have to worry about putting any more work out, dude. He's got it. Him and Q and the white hats, they got it, dude. They got it taken care of. Don't you worry. Sit back and trust the plan.
Yeah. Y'all don't have to worry about nothing, man.
Holy shit. I was talking about this with my guest yesterday, man, like about the fucking Q plan, and it's so corny, man. It really is. It's like, I cannot believe how people could be that naive and gullible to believe that, like, blatant bullshit. I mean, that's crazy, dude. And that's the sad thing, is like a lot of people that are at least have an idea of what's going on, they are like these right-wingers who like believe this whole fucking Q thing. You know, that's what I see here in America. Most of the people that at least have an idea of what's going on, they fall into the fucking left-right paradigm and think that all of this is mostly about just getting Trump out. I'm not saying that it's not at some level. You know, I think that this guy was put there deliberately to, you know, cause the kind of political division that he did. And it brought a lot of people back into politics, into believing the left-right dog and pony show. No thanks to people like Alex Jones and so on. But I just lost my train of thought. So yeah, I think he was placed there, and they used him to get, you know, what they wanted, and now I think he's getting in their way on some levels, and they're trying to get him out. You know?
Well, that was another thing I was just wondering: am I being played? Because we've got the New Zealand Public Party over here, who are telling me what I want to hear, you know, and doing the mahi, they're doing the work, as it were, and I was very, very critical of Trump, not during his original campaign, but about 3 days after the election, and then haven't really mentioned him since. All right, because 3 days after the election of Donald Trump, I went, oh, okay, who's his entire cabinet that he's appointed, and what globalist groups and clubs do they belong to? Oh, all of these guys, and all of these globalist groups and clubs and Freemasons. Okay, well, you've been had. You know, I determined that 3 days after the election. You know, it's just like Trump versus Hillary, and everybody's getting all worked up about it. And I'm like, I don't care. Show me what they do when they appoint whoever to do whatever, and where they've actually come from, and what they actually stand for. Then you know whether or not you've been played, but not until then.
It was the typical slime, you know, in the fucking cabinet. And you know, dude, day one, I think he was like in a 60-minute interview with fucking Barbara Walters, and she asked him like, so are you really gonna like hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary? He's like, I don't want to hurt her. They're good people. Her and her husband are good people. Your whole fucking campaign rhetoric was that you're putting criminal Hillary away. But what the fuck just happened?
You got played, son. That's what happened.
For real. You've been duped. That's it. That's exactly what happened. And people want to keep making excuses for this fucking guy. Oh, no, wait till this election. Like, why? Why wait till this election to bring the child trafficking down and expose all this shit and put Hillary in jail? Why? I don't understand that. Like, what's the importance of waiting until this election? You're just sitting back doing shit as your fucking freedom gets destroyed, and pedophiles still run amok. Children are still being trafficked. Your fucking rights are being destroyed. They got you to just stand down and do shit and trust the plan because you're a naive child for buying into that shit. You don't know how psyops work. You don't know how your fucking owners operate. You know, it's a joke, dude. And it's disheartening to see how many people have bought into that. They really think this guy's the savior. It's crazy. Even at this stage again, can you imagine if Hillary Clinton came out and said that they're gonna have the military on standby to administer the fucking coronavirus vaccine when it comes out? Are you fucking shit? There would have been a revolution overnight. You know?
But Trump says it, and so therefore, it must be part of the plan.
Vinny, guess this. Get this. I'm not even lying, dude. I heard one of the fucking people that are propagating the Q shit say that. It's a serum of like, what did they say? Don't worry about it. It'll be a serum, like vitamin D or some shit in there. I'm not even joking. Someone with a fucking platform that's pushing the Q shit said that. Not even joking. I'm like, all right, well, you take the serum of vitamin D and, let us know how that works for you. Fucking year down the road.
I'll just laugh at the kid from crying.
It up.
Oh, God. It's just, stupidity and mental illness, don't underestimate them, okay? It really, seriously, no, bro, just don't fucking underestimate them at all, man, because there's just something that'll surprise you quite significantly. Now, when you comes to believing in cults, facts and evidence ain't going to do you any good. All right, and that's what people are all part of. If you believe in government, you're part of a cult. Sorry to put that information on you, but those are the facts. Okay, if you believe in government healthcare, you're part of a cult. If you believe in mainstream medicine or mainstream media, you're part of a cult. If you've ever been to school, you are part of a cult. If you have a job, all right, in some kind of institution where there's a hierarchy, you're part of a cult. Now, think about this for just a moment. Really, really think about it. Think about every conversation you've ever had with anybody about anything that threatens their cult belief. What happens? They tell you, piss off, you're a conspiracy theorist or something, right? Okay. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the proof positive that it doesn't matter what you say or over how long a period of time you say it. They haven't got the faculty left to do reasoning for themselves. Don't bother. Okay, because you only need a very small section of society, all right? People who actually get things done instead of blaming other people. People who actually solve problems instead of trying to distance themselves from them, right? These are the people who actually make society change. These are the people who actually make society better. And they are people who question whether or not they're part of a cult. The people who don't question whether or not they're part of the cult, they may be 80% of the population, which means 8 out of 10 people that you talk to ain't worth your time. Right? Let me just think about this. I mean, you've got 0 time accruing at the moment. All right? Every second of this broadcast, your life is ending. All right? Your life is ending 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. What time are you spending getting 0 productivity for the use of that time? Are you obtaining new knowledge that's going to improve your life, or are you trying to give knowledge to somebody who's not listening? And which of the two is more productive?
All right. You're 100% right, dude. And like it really is. It literally is in the most literal sense. It's a cult belief system that these people are bought into. I try talking to people like family members, and I break down like the principles of true anarchism and natural law to them, and try to get them to understand why just the concept of government and authority is like ridiculous and immoral. I'll break it down beautifully. I'll fucking take the time to really think about what I'm going to say and then explain it to them. They just cannot comprehend what I'm fucking saying. And they'll ask me the same question over and over. I'm like, I just explained that to you. They can't, it just really doesn't even register in their head. Like they have a mental fucking block there that they cannot grasp these concepts. It's crazy.
Well, and it is crazy, right? And how exactly do you get in the mindset of somebody who's crazy? By going insane. That's how. And so that's what these people are basically around there. Did you know that insanity is infectious? The more you are around crazy or depressed people or something like that, the more crazy or depressed you're going to get. The more you're around losers who don't accomplish anything, who drink too much, the more you're likely to become a loser who drinks too much, who doesn't accomplish anything. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
Your environment has a direct reflection back out on you, and I think because all the airwaves are cluttered up with these narcissistic, know-nothing, pathetic, dumb shit individuals who couldn't find oh my god, they couldn't find their way out their front door if there wasn't an exit sign above it. All right, this is the kind of stupidity that we're thinking, like low-grade morons who literally need their hands held every step of the way, otherwise they'll accidentally step into traffic and kill themselves. All right, now I'm an advocate of some degree to natural selection, and I think to a large degree the amount of threat that we have on the population isn't enough. Okay, so for example, I mean, there need to be traps in certain crosswalks and things like that. Smart people will figure out the trap and be able to get across without falling into it. But if you're just too fucking stupid to figure out that you step on the white bands only and not the black ones, you're going in a hole. You're not coming out. Okay, and so if if the world was designed slightly more like a survival series video game, I think the strong would actually take back this planet, you know, and there would be a risk to life, because at the moment there is no risk to people's life. You can have as many kids as you want, you can go anywhere you want, and the likelihood of you actually experiencing any kind of lethal consequences for your stupidity or your irresponsibility is almost zero.
Well, you know what, dude? I was talking to my brother, you know, when this whole shit popped off, and his like take on it is like, hey, dude, like this, you know, creation, the universe wants to evolve, you know, and it's got all these dumb shits holding it back. Maybe this is its way of shaking off the fucking idiots, you know, like maybe the people who are going to get through this are the ones who are, you know, who get it and who have taken the time to, you know, do the work upon themselves and see things for what they are, and, you know, who the people who are right with themselves and right with the, you know, right with the world, you know, and maybe this is just going to wean out the fucking shitheads. Like, all right, then I hope so.
I think it's actually going to be much worse than that. I think it's actually going to take out all the free thinkers, all right, and leave the shitheads to rule. Because at the moment, if you've seen Idiocracy, this is basically how it works. You get technology working to a level where it sustains people's life. But the capacity to reproduce that technology or to repair that technology requires intelligent people who had to struggle to survive. And if you've invented a piece of technology that makes it stop struggling to survive, it'll stop producing the people who would create those kind of things that are necessary, right? And what's happened now, I think, in our society is that there is no real drive. Okay, so for example, a fruit tree, right? How long does that fruit last after it falls off the tree? Not long. You've got to eat it while it's fresh, right? You've got to strike while the iron is hot. How long does that bag of chips last? Practically forever. So there's no real motivation to go and do it now. There's no rush. How long does it take to watch that television show? It takes about a half an hour. How long does it take to actually make that television show? Well, it takes many, many hours and thousands of people or something like that. Oh, okay, that sounds too hard. I'll just sit back and watch it then. All right. The very motivation reason why we should be doing things is because they don't last. Because it should be quick, and then it should be over, and then you should be getting on to something else and doing it. But at the moment, we have infinite entertainment to distract us from who we should really be and what we should be really doing. And
and this is the result of that. You know, this is the world you get as a result of that.
Yeah. We're too entertained, we're too self-entitled, we're too comfortable, and we're too, shall we say, defeatist. All right, we've got it so good that we don't know how good we've got it, that it makes any kind of trying to change the system seem psychologically impossible, because we've become so weak by having it so easy. You know, the reason why I've done so much amazing things in my life by comparison to the vast majority of people that walk on this planet is because I've had incredible pain and hardship and trauma and neglect and abuse and assault and betrayal leveled at me. That's produced a very interesting individual. But if you have a look at people who've had almost no real hardship, almost no rejection by society, and have experienced no real challenge in their life, then they're not going to be very interesting people, are they?
Right. No. Yeah. You're right. That's why I think a lot of the people who are awake, like, they went through some shit in their life, you know, and which you know, made them look at the world differently, and then made them, you know, gave them that hunger to eventually, like, look into things and be able to change their mind. You're right, dude. Like, a lot of people who just have it, you know, that are comfortable in their chains, they don't see any need to change or see things differently or do things differently. It's when you're pushed out of that comfort zone, you know, then shit starts to change.
Yeah, but as I say, we are far too comfortable, and thinking about this election cycle being probably the most important election in New Zealand history, you got to sit back and kind of really think about it to a large degree. I mean, how dangerous is the situation? And the situation is so dangerous. The threat is absolutely real, and I think that people are, for the first time in my career at least, starting to have some hope, some real, actual hope.
That's why, dude, I don't look. For the longest time, I gotta be honest, I thought we were fucked, and especially even up until this happened. I just thought like people are never gonna get it. I continue speaking the truth to people just because it's like, it's just the right thing to do. But for the longest time, I felt like we were fucked. There's no way we're going to get the aggregate of the population to change their ways of thinking and their behaviors.
This is something I wanted to show you as well. This is the New Zealand Public Party's page analytics, and over here we have what are the audiences like? It's 43% female, 57% male. That's unbelievable distribution, because women are generally not interested in talk radio politics or anything like that. But over here, this is the reason why people ain't waking up. Have a look at the years of people who are growing up here. 25 to 34 years is 8.6% of the audience. 35 to 44 years is 17.2% of the audience. Now, but 18 to 24 years is 0.3% of the audience. So, I was looking at this dynamic. So, look at it this way. Between the ages of 18 to 24 years, what's the likelihood that you've experienced some kind of trauma that has changed your life and changed your perspective on the world so far? All right, something that makes you question everything. Pretty frickin' low in terms of percentage possibility. 13 to 17 years, even less. It's 0% of the audience. You get on to 25 to 34 years, on the other hand, what's the chances that you've been really, really screwed over in your life at some point at the age of 34 or 25 years old? The chances are actually a lot higher, aren't they? And then you've got 8.6% of the audience represented there. And then 35 to 44 years, you've got 17.2% of the audience. That's nearly triple the amount of people on the other end. And then when you go to 45 to 54 years, you've got almost quadruple the amount of people in there. So, and then to 55 to 64, it's even higher, 28.4%, and then 65 plus, you've got 18.6%, right? So what this looks like to me is the longer you live, the more bad stuff will happen to you that will question you to will cause you to question reality. And I think also if you're significantly older, like in the 65 plus range, this technology has been around for a long time, but you haven't necessarily started to use it yet. So I think if the elders really upped their game when it came to using all of this technology, would get much more stats in there. But the point here is, the chances are very, very good that if you're under 25, you are not in any way, shape or form going to be interested in anything that is real or meaningful, because you've already got yourself in a great situation where you are young, you are dumb, and you're very, very horny. Okay?
Yeah, that's it. You just want to fucking party, you want to fucking hook up, like, you're not thinking about anything real and meaningful and philosophical at that age. For me, I gotta say, for me, it was different. I went through shit at an early age, and I saw things, for what they are to a good extent at a very early age, so like through my teenage years, I would say. But
and I'm sure that really helped your social life, right? Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. I'm the most antisocial motherfucker I think you could come across. I was a misfit, dude. I roamed the streets as a fucking misfit. Dropped out of school, didn't fucking, just a little handful of fucking friends that I fucked with. Wasn't the type to go to fucking, all these big parties and all that shit. Like, I just, saw the world for what it was. I knew something was wrong from a very early age. But like you said, from going through a lot of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And we've had some questions in the chat room from Chris Callahan about the what's it called? about the Brenton Tarrant case, about the Christchurch Mosque massacre. And a lot of people don't know this stuff, and this is switching gears a little bit. But I do like to read this out. It's a list of little factoids about the Christchurch Mosque massacre that I do like to read out to just give people a little bit of a background. And this is all the stuff that's backed up, that you can prove, that ain't no conspiracy theory or whatever. Brenton Tarrant, an Australian citizen, not a New Zealander, claims he got money from BitConnect which he used to travel, although there is no evidence to substantiate this claim except his word. The Guardian quoted that the ABC claimed Brenton earned money from BitConnect, except there's no mention of BitConnect in the article they linked. With this alleged money from unconfirmed sources, Tarrant travelled to multiple areas around the world, but his first stop was Israel, where he stayed only 9 days out of a 3-month visa. Israeli officials gave no further details. The Australian Embassy and New Zealand Consulate did not respond to requests for comment either. After Tarrant came to New Zealand, he claims to have spent 2 years planning the attack and was scoping out the mosques in Christchurch for 3 months before the shooting. He obtained his gun licence in 2017 after a police visit where Tarrant gave the names of 2 New Zealand residents whom are alleged to have never met Tarrant but instead met him on sites such as 4chan and 8chan, but that allegation cannot be confirmed as police refuse to comment. Immediately buying firearms, Tarrant's behaviour and rants was noted by a fellow gun club member who reported him to police, and nothing was done about it. Just before the attacks in 2019, the Crisis X Terrorism Conference was kicking off, bringing in the best crisis management delegates from around the world, including a, quote, highly realistic simulation. Immediately preceding the attack, Facebook went down for 48 hours worldwide. The first Facebook live stream was the Christchurch Mosque massacre when the network came back up. There were drills on the day with the New Zealand Police Armed Offenders Squad, and the Prime Minister was even quoted as saying someone in armed offenders uniform walked into the mosques and started opening fire. There was also a sniper drill happening on the day with foreign troops on New Zealand soil that were given shoot-to-kill orders, in fact. The manifesto that Tarrant claimed to wish the world would turn into a communist state like China was made illegal to view under pain of 10 years imprisonment if you shared it or read it. The video of the attack became illegal to view, including 10 years if you watched it or shared it. This goes against the New Zealand Human Rights Act to share any information in any form. People who shared the video were visited by armed police who pointed guns at their children's heads. And I was reporting on the story. I was visited by police 5 times in 1 week. The internet,
I saw that.
The internet censorship was immediate. The algorithms were all ready to go. On day 1 of the massacre, I was censored in the middle of a live stream. You couldn't say the words "false flag" on social media or in your video title, or they would get deleted. And then a whole bunch of conspiracy theories alleging fake guns or digital fakery or no deaths started getting around online and started muddying the waters. The government decided that it would mount a secret inquiry into the attack so that the public could not find out any of the information that was uncovered during their investigation. The gunman himself, after being arrested, flashed a Masonic 666 hand sign to the papers. Then a gun ban was introduced and implemented 14 days after the shooting. And then...
Go figure.
And then on COVID-19, in March of 2020, on day 1, Brenton Tarrant pleads guilty, and the government calls off any and all investigations into the Christchurch Mosque massacre. No royal commission, no inquiries, case closed.
Unfucking real, dude. That is unreal. Unreal. But all that fucking information there, no one sees that, for what it is. But I know they try to fucking get you guys to hand in your guns, and virtually no one complied with it, which is a good fucking thing. Yeah. From what I hear, at least.
Yeah. But like I say, ladies and gentlemen, nothing to see here. It's all above board. There's no... There's no agenda. There's no backroom deals or anything. There's no such thing as agents being imported to COARSE. There's no such thing as Operation Gladio or any of this. No, bro. It's just look. Israel's got nothing to do with anything. All right, just shh. Okay.
Unreal. Dude, I mean, that shit, they got caught red-handed, dude. Literally, pun intended. The dudes in red, the red cars, all that shit. They were on fucking film. On film. Max Egan did a fucking fantastic analysis of that video and debunking
I know.
the fake
and you know
guns,
what the horrible thing is?
guns.
I can't even watch his video on that because it got banned. And if I do watch it, because it's got the Brenton Tarrant's footage and stuff in it, I might go to jail for 10 years for doing my job as a journalist.
Unfucking believable. That alone right there should tell people what that event was about. You know what I mean? And that was a false flag. One of the most blatant false flags I've ever fucking saw.
Yeah.
The man in red. What? I mean, come on, dude. Come on. What was and the fucking car that was there that pulled out that later got stopped at a checkpoint? Same license plate, same fucking car. Come on.
And that's the thing. You just all the things that I read out are just the facts that you can confirm from mainstream media itself, and it paints an incredibly suspicious picture, even to people who don't know nothing about tradecraft or subterfuge. It paints an incredibly suspicious picture, and those are just all the facts that you can't argue with. And as I like to say, there are three things that you can't argue with: facts, results, and that statement.
Here's the problem, dude. No one gives a fuck. That's the thing. People don't care. It's not in them. Like was speaking to like a family member one time about like, what happened. What's the shit that's happening in the Middle East, in Palestine. She cut me off and told me, listen, I don't care, okay? As long as I'm good and my children are good. Literally told me she don't give a shit about, innocent children being blown the fuck up and living in a open air fucking concentration camp. So that's where I think the minds of the vast overwhelming majority of the population is at. Sad.
Yeah, but
really
it doesn't matter. We all worry about what the majority does. What the majority does really doesn't matter. Did the majority of people invent the light bulb? Did the majority of people invent radio? Did the majority of people invent
the majority
of
people the majority of people are leading us into a total slavery.
They're not leading
us
at
the moment.
They're being led. All right,
but they're pulling us in by their compliance.
I think we're allowing ourselves to be pulled in because we're complying with it ourselves. And that's the thing. You don't need a hell of a lot of people to be organised in a state of non-compliance before you can overpower the majority of people, because the majority of people aren't afraid of government. They're indifferent. They actually just don't care. Do you know how difficult it is to resist somebody who doesn't really care what they're fighting about? It's not that hard. It's really easy. They blow over like reeds in the wind.
Look, dude, it's a numbers game. I feel like you really do need the majority to turn this around. You need the majority of the population.
I disagree because of the Pareto distribution. You know how you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time? Yeah? And that distribution's actually everywhere, all right? 20% of people do 80% of the work, all right? 80% of the people you talk to are basically going to get 20% of the results, right? That's 80% of your customers only do about 20% of the trading that you do in your company. This Pareto distribution's everywhere. So that means that if you've got 20% of people, just 20%, you've got 80% of the most effective people, theoretically. That's assuming that you've got some kind of a movement for them to actually latch onto, which I think the New Zealand Public Party is that movement, right? And I think this is a good test case because who was it when I was talking with Dr. Nick Begich? He was on the show just recently, and he talked about the first global revolution, about getting back at the New World Order and taking our countries and freedoms back, and he said that it would be a populist movement that happens, that would do it, something that is for the people, right? And this party has basically ticks all those boxes, and I think what's really happening here is that New Zealand is experiencing a massive shift in public consciousness in about only 20% of the people, all right? But those are the 20% of the people who run businesses. Those are the 20% of the people who invent stuff. These are the 20% of the people who've got skills, talents, that kind of thing. And the rest of the population are basically just mad, right? I think, what was it, his name? The Prime Minister of Britain, Winston Churchill, he said that the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. And I respectfully disagree. The best argument against democracy is a 2-hour conversation with the average politician. All right?
Exactly.
You just realize, like, hold on a second, I just spoke to this guy for 2 hours, he said nothing, we've achieved nothing. Whereas a person on the street, you can talk for 5 minutes, you might actually be able to achieve something. You see what I'm saying? And I think to a large degree, the people who want to make their way into politics are kind of like the opposite of me, the opposite of Billy TK. They're people who want to keep their heads down, who just want to go along to get along so that they can keep their paycheck and their pensions at the end of the day, and then keep their positions and their money, right? Whereas I'm going to it for a complete self-sacrifice for the good of others type thing. I don't care if I die. All right, this is the last stand that mankind can take against evil, against cult-like behaviour. And if this is to be our end, I would like it to be such an end as to be worthy of remembrance, as they say in the Lord of the Rings. And
yeah, man.
So the people who are in denial, the people who are suffering from defeatism, the people who are arguing against the merits of freedom, they're going to die, and there is nothing we can do to save them. And the more we try to help those people who ain't contributing, who ain't going to accomplish anything, who ain't helping even themselves, the best we can accomplish is to wind up accomplishing less of our goal in the first place. Don't spend your time on those people. Don't even spend your consciousness on it. I was doing it this morning, and I was just like, oh, well, this person has screwed me up. Whoa, stop. You're ruminating. Just go back in the room. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we're back to going. And that's the thing. We overthink all the time the things that are frustrating us, the bad things we wanted to do. And the reason why we do that is because we're all control freaks at the end of the day. We wished it went differently. We would have done it differently this time, and so on and so forth. No, just fucking let it go and start doing the work you're here to do.
Yeah, exactly. And, I just want to say this to people. The people who are truly awake and who have taken the time to do the work upon themselves to really embody change, and who've been trying to influence others to look at what's going on and go through that personal transformational process. I feel that we chose to come here and incarnate at the time we did into these fucking avatars to fight this battle right here, right now. As spiritual and woo-woo-ish as that might sound. This is what we came here to do. So no matter how difficult it may be and how dark things are, you got to try to overcome that fear and remember who you are and take on that fucking warrior spirit. And you could think whatever you want about this, you could roll your eyes at it or laugh at it, but these dark occultists who are running the show, they fear truly authentic, spiritually awake men and women. We're not like the New Age community portrays enlightened beings are. We're some badass motherfuckers who came here to expose these demons and fuck this shit up. So pick your fucking heads up, stick your chest out and stand tall, look this world directly in the eyes and take it head on. Fight until your last breath. Because it's only over for you when you tell yourself it is. And like you said, this is it. This is the final fucking stand right now. If you were ever going to do something and join a good fight, now's the fucking time.
Yeah.
There are 3 types of people, Chuck: dicks, pussies, and assholes. And if us dicks don't fuck those assholes, we're gonna all have our dicks and our pussies all covered in shit.
What's that from, man?
Team America, World Police. It's a fucking great movie.
God. Yeah, it's a fucking hysterical movie, dude.
Well, and that's the thing. Every joke's got a victim, you know. And I was thinking about what if I was inducted into like military camp or something like that?
Do you find something funny, Private?
It's like, well, absolutely, sir. Every joke has a victim, and the amount of crucial psychological abuse you're giving to the other recruits is, in fact, a joke. So therefore, I find it funny, sir.
Shut your mouth,
dude. I can't imagine like how that is even respected for like a young man to go, you know, involve themselves with that shit and be treated like a goddamn dog. And you know, and people respect that. You see the fucking hell that these fucking people get put through in boot camp. Like, how is that to be respected? They call you fucking jarheads. You know, you're literally being stripped of any humanity that you have, and you're just being turned into a fucking machine. You know, I don't understand how that is. That's why this world is so fucking inverted, man. So twisted on its head. It's crazy.
It's more twisted than rheumatoid arthritis, I got to tell you.
Oh shit, man.
But as I always say, it could be worse. The world could be run by satanic pedophiles. Good night, everybody.
Man, dude, I could fucking go on for hours, dude. Well, I guess like you know.
Well, that's how you got a kid, isn't
leave it? Yeah. Yeah, we should leave it there. I think you know, I think it's been good up until this point. So is there any final thoughts you want to put out there to people, any kind of like words of encouragement, you know, to dish out there, and also let people know where to find your work and how they could support you, dude?
Okay, well, you can go to thevinnieeastwoodshow.com and sign up to become a Patreon or a KiwiBank supporter, or to donate through PayPal. The PayPal email is guerrillamedia@77@gmail.com. Excuse me. Today I've adjusted the studio around a little bit, and the wonderful green screen footage that those of you on the live stream can see has been shot by my friend Mikhail Pierce. So if you want some wonderful stuff to be shot for you, you can email him, mikhailpierce@gmail.com. It's on screen. And in terms of final words of inspiration or anything like that, just remember, every single thing that you do has an effect. It has a consequence. Even doing nothing has a consequence. And if you have a look around what's been happening in our society recently, you can be rest assured that this is caused directly by people doing nothing. Okay? So bear in mind, the most important thing that you can do is not nothing. So get out there, do something, anything, so long as you're not hurting somebody else or damaging their private property or taking something that doesn't belong to you. Get out there and do something. Now, out there could be in any way, shape or form, because you have a dimensional gateway as a creative being that is your creativity, and you're supposed to manifest those creations into this physical world. All right, first dimension's a dot, the second dimension's a line, the third dimension's a box, the fourth dimension is the box moving through time, the fifth dimension is beyond time, beyond space, and that's where all your inspiration is. Any thought that you've got in your head for something that doesn't yet exist, that's fifth dimensional consciousness. But if you spend your time on that idea and you will it into the three-dimensional reality by making your inventions, by writing your books, by doing your live streams, by sending those emails out to people to interview on your broadcasts and things of that nature, that fifth-dimensional consciousness gets manifested here in the three-dimensional reality where other people's consciousness can be inspired by it. That is your obligation in life. Find out what it is you think, find out what it is you believe, and try and bring it into the physical reality. If you don't, your art doesn't inspire other people, and we are all the worse for it. Do your art. You are a creative being, so get it done. Nobody else is going to do your artwork for you. You have to do it. Just like nobody else can take a leak for me. Nobody else can eat my food for me. Hey, can you eat this pizza for me, bro? I need some extra carbs. It's just like, no, you can't do it. And the most important thing about this is not waking up. All right, people are stuck on this. Oh, I'm awake, I'm woke as fuck. No, you fucking not. All right? You ain't awake unless you've gotten out of bed, yo. You ain't awake unless you've taken a wiki leak and are on your way to work. All right? That's the thing you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up, get out of bed, take a wiki leak, and get to work against the New World Order. Time is running short, people. You only got today to do it, and then tomorrow you'll only have today to do it as well.
Fucking excellent, dude. Excellently put, dude. And thank you again for taking the time out to come on, bro. Much appreciated. It was fucking awesome talking to you. You're a fucking legend. Don't ever stop doing what you do, bro. You know, you help so many people. You've helped educate me through my years and, you know, helped me through my awakening process by providing the platform for the guests that you've, you know, had on. So don't ever stop, dude. So thank you once again for coming on, and that's all I got for this week, guys. I'll be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at FreedomForAll.online. So go there, follow me on WordPress to be alerted as to when a show's been posted or a blog or a new track of mine or any of my work gets posted. So that's it. I'll see you guys next week, same time. Truth, love, and freedom for all.